Hello, everybody. Have another article here, and it reads, Understanding your partner's anger issues and what you can do to help. All right. This is a very important video. I would suggest that you watch it if you have someone who deals with anger problems or anger issues. So let's get into this. All right. So right off the bat, it says everyone feels angry from time to time, but some people experience an intense or inappropriate rage that goes uncontrolled. And I want to say that has to do with part of your trauma because of your childhood. All right. So let's move forward. All right. This unhealthy type of anger is quite common. Okay. Quite common. In fact, if you look at 100 people, 100 random people, about 7 or 8 are going to have a problem with that. Okay, so 100 random adults in the United States, about 8 of them will have uncontrolled, intense, and inappropriate anger. All right, what happens if one of these 8 is your boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse? See what I'm saying? All right, so if you have a partner that has anger issues, it is going to be very hard for that person or that individual to get a hold of him or herself. All right. It's going to be very hard. All right. So these relationships can be complex and difficult to navigate. All right. So if you've been in an abusive relationship or you've been with an angry person, you know what? Understand that you cut your losses and leave. Why? Why would I say that? Because if somebody wants to really help themselves with the anger issues, it's going to take time. And it's going to take the person wanting to change to see the change in themselves. All right. These relationships can be complex and difficult to navigate. It's hard to balance your desires to help them. Are you there? Do you find yourself helping them and then can't understand why you can't help them? Because you really can't help them. All right. So the first step to take is to get a better understanding of anger issues, their causes and possible solutions. That's what we're going to be reading next. Okay. So what can I do if my partner has anger issues, right? If you want to stay with this person, then listen. Okay. Most importantly, ensure your safety. You cannot help anyone if you are not safe. Okay? So, when you're not I'm going to go a little further down. Unhealthy versus healthy anger. All right, here we go. Generally speaking, there are 4 types of anger that people express. These are all people, okay? So, the first one, assertive, aggressive, passive aggressive. Hey, we know someone who does that too, right? And suppressive. All right. So there's 4: assertive, aggressive, passive aggressive, and suppressive. All right. People with healthy anger will do the following. Okay. Are honest about their feelings. And many people don't like people who are honest about their feelings. Avoid threats, humiliation, or intimidation. Obviously, when you're having a discussion with this person, there is not going to be any threats or humiliating someone to make themselves feel better. Okay? A person who has himself in check won't do these things. Okay? Do not blame others for their feelings. See, because you're responsible for your own feelings. All right? No matter what women say, oh, you hurt my feelings. They're your feelings. You're in charge of them. Address others with respect, even when they disagree. Okay? These are people with healthy anger. Okay? This is what they do. try to resolve conflict. All right? So aggressive, passive aggressive, and suppressive types of anger are all unhealthy in different ways. Okay? They're all unhealthy. If your partner intimidates, mocks, manipulates, threatens, or physically harms you when angry, this is unhealthy anger. All right? If you're worried about your physical or emotional safety when your partner is angry, it's likely they have aggressive anger. However, sometimes passive aggressive anger can be demeaning as well. So the thing is this is a channel that we talk about abuse, neglect, all right? Things that happened to you when you were a kid, all right? And if you were an angry person, I want to tell you that my heart goes out to you, because I was an angry person and I was something like what I was just reading here. Why? Because when people abuse you, that's what you're gonna do. And if you want to stop, like I did for a very long time, if you want to stop being mean to yourself or your loved ones, I say that you should. All right? There is no sense in hurting the people that care for you the most. This is something you learned, right? You're not a bad person. This is just something that was taught to you. Like, for example, my father taught me how to respond in anger, because that's what I saw growing up. And so that's how I acted, and that's what I brought out. I don't carry any more of those things because, I had to deal with myself, which is something that you need to do. So again, if you're suffering with anger, brother, it is not you. You can do it. You can change. All right. What causes anger issues? All right, here we go. This is going to be telling. So hang on. All right. Listen up. All right. Send this video to a friend. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe, because this is the content that I'm going to be making here on this channel, because we all need help with ourselves. All right. So what causes anger issues? Okay. So if you're someone who obviously doesn't suffer from anger, but has a spouse, a boyfriend or girlfriend who does, listen up. A person's immediate surroundings and life stressors can cause anyone to feel angry. You see what I'm saying? Okay. My immediate surroundings, what that mean? What does that mean? Your home. Where'd you come from? See what I'm saying? Where'd you come from? Was it abusive? Was it passive aggressive? That's the way you're going to be. You're going to be like dear old ma or dear old dad. Now, I'm not here throwing shade. I'm just saying that this is how the world works. All right. That's all I'm saying. Right. So, however, the causes of unhealthy rage runs deeper. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Why? Because when you're abused, when you're physically abused, that is some serious abuse, especially when it comes from your parents. So if you're angry out there, I understand. Why? Because you see, when your parents abuse you, who is there to help you with this? If it's your parents who are abusing you. So if you decided to cope with anger either using drugs or alcohol or Vicodins, all sorts of pills, it's not your fault. You're just trying to find some relief from your abuse. Okay? My heart goes out to you. All right? So Possible causes of anger issues include, all right, here we go, listen up. Intermittent explosive disorder. What's that look like? Well, you know, you're A-okay one time, all of a sudden someone starts disagreeing with you, and all of a sudden you fly off the handle. Why? Because that's what happened when you were a kid, right? 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 That's where you got it from. You're flying off the handle because someone flew off the handle. Okay? All right? Unbalanced brain chemistry. You sure have some of that. Why? Because we self-medicate, right? I know I used to. All right, so untreated depression. How many of you have depression? Anxiety. All right, this all comes from your past, okay? Or other disorders. Substance abuse, underlying trauma. These are all possible causes of anger issues, all right? So underlying trauma, lack of coping skills. How did you cope with the trauma, right? Well, guess what? Good old dad sipped on a beer. Mom did other things. You see, we all cope with things, all right? Some of us cope with cheating, having random people. Why? Because we're hurt inside, because we haven't fixed what's wrong with us. We haven't taken the time to look at our past and say, hey, you know what? I was that shitty person, and be okay with it, all right? Some people live with a combination of these risk factors that causes anger problems. And those factors are the intermittent explosive disorder, your unbalanced brain chemistry, your substance abuse, and also underlying trauma. All right? Are anger issues genetic? Listen up, this is very important. All right? Is it genetic? Research have not identified an anger gene. However, genetics may play a role in causing anger problems. Your mental health disorders that cause disordered anger are found in families. See what I'm saying? So again, it is very important to make peace with your past. Forgive yourself, forgive others, forgive yourself for the pain you caused others. That is the only way that you're going to get over this. Okay? It all starts with loving yourself. Okay? I have several videos on how to start loving yourself. So, quick way, tell yourself that you love yourself, take care of yourself, start working out, buy yourself a nice blanket, new pillows, whatever it is, start being good to you. Once you start being good to you, let me tell you this, once you start being good to you, people, especially women, if you're a man, women will come out of the woodwork, especially girls will come out of the woodwork looking for you, because there's a lot of broken men out there and a lot of men who aren't, very few men who aren't broken, and girls love that. If you're having problems with women, I suggest you get a handle on yourself, all right? Can someone with anger issues change? Okay, this is very important. All right, maybe you're the one getting abused. Listen up, okay? Can someone with anger issues change? Yes, because I changed. All right. So people can and do change their behavior problems all the time. That's often the goal of therapy. However, people with anger issues can only change if they make a commitment and put in the work. You see, that's why people hate me at times, because I am happy. And they're like, what do you have to be so happy about? Well, I am happy because I love myself. I am happy with my life. I had to take what I did in the past and admit it, look at it, and say, hey, you were that shitty person. Now move on. Okay? So here we go. They have to want to change for themselves. So remember earlier I said if you're with someone who's abusive, you might as well just go away. You might as well just go away. Okay? Because it has to do with that person. That person is going to want to change. That person is going to have enough of himself or herself to make the change. Okay? You can sleep with it. You can feed it. You can love it. But if it doesn't want to change itself, you are not going to help anybody, sweetheart. All right? My best solution for you is if you're dating someone with anger issues, really sit down and talk to them and find out why. Maybe they don't want to talk to you about it. Okay? But what I'm saying, it's a process that person has to start. Okay? It's a process. You don't just wake up and say, I'm going to change. Okay? So they have to want to change for themselves, not because someone else wants them to do it. Okay? They are going to want to change. All right? So don't go through it alone. Our providers can help. This is an article, obviously, that I'm reading. You will read it for yourself. It is down in the description. What helps with anger issues? Okay? Here we go. Long-term solutions for anger issues involves addressing the underlying problem, like your abuse. Okay? For me, it was my parents. Okay? Obviously, there's other people too that tried to abuse me, like for most of us, a corporation, right? School, okay? Someone in authority, maybe the cops, things like that. So it's not just your parents, not just your loved ones. Everybody's trying to get over on other people, okay? That's just the way it is. Long-term solutions for anger issues involves addressing the underlying problem. The first step is often to undergo a full psychological evaluation, okay? A treatment plan for unhealthy anger can include a combination of, here we go, individual therapy, group therapy, medication, and lifestyle changes. Okay? You have to do this because these treatment plans can take time to work. Remember, it takes time. Okay? Person just doesn't change like that. All right? Because these treatment plans take time to work, it is important for people with anger issues to find a healthy coping mechanism that can work in short term as well. A therapist can help with this. Okay? This concludes the article. But what I will say is if you made it to the end of this video, good for you. If you are serious about changing, I suggest you start loving yourself. I suggest that you subscribe, ring that bell notification so you are the first one to be alerted to my videos. Because what I'm doing here is I'm trying to help people learn to love themselves, even if they were loved themselves in their past. Just like my parents didn't care for me, and I searched for love out there in all the wrong places. I love myself. How? I started loving myself, and then once I fixed a lot of my issues, my life changed because I changed. You're really not gonna change unless you really wanna change. You're gonna have to change from the inside out There is nothing out there, a man or a woman or a drug or alcohol or whatever, that's going to make you feel the way you make yourself feel when you love yourself, when you take care of yourself, when you start going to the gym, when you start eating right, when you start and keeping bad people away from you. That is part of loving yourself. Okay? This is Mario with Let's Talk About It. And today's video is for you. All right? So I will leave you with thank you very much for being here. And I will see you in another video.